Hi everyone, welcome to another video. We've got the Holy Stone HS175D. Holy Stone have kindly sent us this drone to do a test flight with. They haven't paid me to do this review, and all my opinions on the drone will be my own. So basically we'll put it through the same test that we do any drone, but I think I've got everything set up and ready to go. So let me just see if I can start recording. Press, so you got to unlock before you can take off, so go down like that. Now, yeah, so there we go. So it is, yeah, it's holding its position pretty well actually. You can see me in the camera. I don't know if you can. So yeah, it's pretty much sitting in the air, better than I sort of predicted it would do actually. It does have optical flow sensors in the, it's moving around a little bit, but not much more than any other drone I've tried. Yeah, and it's pretty much sitting there. It's got optical flow and it's got GPS, so it should basically be able to hold its position quite well. And yeah, it's got me on the screen, it's recording. It all looks pretty good. I couldn't see any actual options of like what kind of video settings you could set, so it's kind of like press the button and it kind of probably records the best it can. I think that's how it will work. I don't know what, there's a 50% mode and there's a kind of 100% mode. Let me just sort of, I'm guessing that's a, yeah, that's the speed. So 50% speed and 100% speed. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how well this is holding its position for a drone that is basically costing a lot of, sorry, not costing a lot of money. It's costing under £200. At the moment it's £189 on Amazon. You can, there'll be a discount code in the comments below, sorry, in the description below. So let's just see how the camera goes up and down. So there, you push the buttons on the controllers, get the camera go up and down. I think you can probably do it with the screen as well. Yeah, so you can kind of push it to go up on the screen as well. There's kind of like a phone control and a controller control. Yeah, so far everything's looking really good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I want to try out some of the features. I just want to see, right, so you tap on the kind of bottom menu item. One thing I will note, you connect to the phone with Wi-Fi, so it's over 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And if you want the map to work, then you're going to have like your SIM working. So that will pick up its, you know, like your 4G or your 5G. So you get your map, but you also get your, you know, you get your connection to the drone. So, you know, that should work pretty well. Right, so it apparently has a non-optical mode. And what's this? So non-optical, unable to turn on visual tracking code. I wonder if that's if you turn off the sorry, the recording, and let's just see non-optical mode. So not sure what's going on there. Non-optical mode, and it's, you know, it's not a bad little drone, I'd say. Quite good fun for a beginner, and definitely not, you know, it's not that basic. Let's just see non-optical mode, unable to turn on control. So right, let's try the other one then. So make sure your flight is higher than the surrounding buildings to avoid possible injuries and losses. So this is like the track feature. So now what I've done is I've turned on tracking, so it should follow me, shouldn't it? Basically it should follow me. Don't know if it's doing that. When the distance between the aircraft and mobile phone is less than 5 meters, mobile phone cannot be activated. Right, okay, so maybe it's just not far enough away from me at the moment. So I'm going to put it back a bit, higher up, and let's see. Right, now I think it is doing it. I think it is connected to me. Right, and I might move the other way because there's trees behind there. So I think the problem's going to be getting your camera right on that, so you'd have to lift your camera up. But yeah, it is tracking. It is sort of like following me, I would say. The camera is kind of following. Will the drone follow me? Yes, it is coming towards me. So that's, you know, that's working properly. That's a good feature. You probably have to control the yaw a bit just to turn it round, make sure it's pointing at you. I don't know if you can control that while you're yeah, I don't think the sticks I don't think you can control the drone whilst that option is going on. So that's something. Let's try the optical. In the non-optical, unable to turn on So I'm not sure what non-optical mode is, so I don't have that. But anyway, I'm going to turn on the recording again and see if it'll still track me while recording. Let's see if it does. Yes, it does look like it is. I'd like to be able to turn the drone though. I don't know if it's not able to turn, unfortunately. So that's one thing. Waypoint mode, let's just have a look at that. Can you stick a waypoint on? Hang on, so that's where the drone is at the moment. So I'm guessing you can draw a waypoint, can you? Hang on, so how can you put a waypoint on there? Oh no, that's upload to the drone. Click on the pen. Is that how you do it? No, hang on. So you got to be careful with features like this because yeah, I don't see how you actually add a waypoint on there. But use and click within the effective area, flight area to create a new route. Use the route to send it to the aircraft. Well, that makes sense, but I can't seem to actually do what I've got to do with it. It's not actually letting me tap on there. Now maybe that's because the maps aren't really loading up very well. So maybe, you know, maybe you can set like a, you know, set a waypoint that way. I don't know. No, I can't seem to get that to do that, unfortunately. Not sure why that's not working. I'm sure there's a way you can do it, but it's not working for me. Right, so let me just try and delete everything. But so use the pen and click within the effective area. So I'm guessing it means tap. Yeah, it's sort of spinning around a bit there. Hang on, I've got control back of it now. Right, so you can still control the height when you do this. Anyway, I'm going to come out of that now, I think. Well, let's try the circle feature out. Let's come out the map. Let's do a circle. So I don't really know how you do that either. Hang on, let's turn it back that way. Not sure exactly what's going on at the moment. Right, so hang on, if I put on the circle, are you supposed to be able to put a point on the screen? I don't know. Ah, yeah, it's the same thing again. It is doing a circle, it is actually doing a circle. So I think the idea is you fly it over something. I think you fly it over something and then it will kind of do a circle, but we've got quite a lot in the way. So yeah, the circle's working, but let's turn that off, I think. No, cancel that. It's going to sort of spin around quite a bit here. So what we want is, let's bring it back so it's not in that mode anymore, because we don't really want that. I think a lot of these features, let's come out of that mode. We do definitely want to come out of that mode. How do you come out of that mode? Because it is spinning around in a circle and that's not what we want. So let's, hang on, cancel. I just want to see how you actually stop this spinning around in a circle. I mean, it's quite high, so there shouldn't be any problems. But I want to go back into normal flight. Right, so hang on. I want to come out of that mode. I definitely want to come out of that mode. Non-optical mode. Right, let's do that. But it's still got that route, it's not, it just doesn't want to come out of that mode, does it? Right, so anyway, let's return to home. Yeah, hang on, so now it's going home. Right, it's going home, but it's still in that mode, I think. Right, I'm cancelling the go home mode, and it's still in that mode. I don't understand why it won't come out of the circle mode. We don't want it to be in a circle mode anymore. We want it to stay still. We certainly don't want it to go around in a circle. And so how do we come out of that mode? You know, it's a bit of a crazy thing, really. Ah, yeah, there you go. You tap back on it again. You tap back on it, I think. And that's how it stops it, I think. Is that right? No, doesn't seem to stop it, so yeah, I don't seem to be able to stop it going into that mode. Hang on, here we go. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain this isn't what you want. Right, so anyway, I'm going to do go home. But again, it's still spinning out of control really. Here we go. Right, okay, so now it's trying to come back down. Now I don't think it will land in the landing pad, but yeah, that's a bit of a bug in the software there by looks of it, that it'll be quite hard to you know, that's a bit of a bug in the software there. Right, but anyway, we got it to land, so I think that the trick to get out of that is to go into the go home feature. But yeah, those features definitely are not 100% at the moment. So let's see if we can. Right, so it's in optical mode at the moment, so it needs to come back into. But anyway, it came back down. We were able to get control of it. But yeah, I would say that that's not great. It's not great that you can't control what you're doing there. So anyway, so let's come out of those modes. Hopefully it will return to GPS mode in a second, and we'll be able to kind of bring it up and just do a bit of flyback, because I think as a flying around drone, I was quite impressed with how stable it was in the air. If you're not interested in some of those features, and perhaps I just did them wrong, it's possible, but if you're not interested in those features, then maybe you can forgo those and you know, not worry about them. And you know, but anyway, it's in optical mode at the moment, and I don't know why it won't go out of optical mode. We want it to go into GPS mode, so I'm not sure why. Maybe if I turn off the recording and then maybe turn the recording on again, well, once it's like kind of sorted itself out. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming out of optical mode at the moment, so that's a bit of a shame. Still got a bit of battery life, so not sure why that is, not sure why it's not coming back. But anyway, you can see, hopefully you can see that. I don't know how good that is, but you can see the drone there, and I did an unboxing video of the drone, but yeah, it's not coming back into optical mode, which is a bit of a shame. Not sure why. A few bugs they need to iron out, I would say. Maybe it's yeah, it's flashing on the GPS there. It's flashing the satellites. So yeah, I just don't know why it's not coming back in. Let's see, you've got to unlock. Yeah, so that's the other thing, you know, getting the unlock to work. And I found the unlock was a little bit funny to kind of start. So what I'm going to do is turn off the control. This is what I did last time. I turned on the control, then I did up and down on the left joystick to get control of it again. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to take off again, does it? Yeah, it's not unlocking again. So a little bit buggy, the software, I'd say, because I'm definitely doing what it says to do in the manual. You have to pull down the left and right stick. So you pull the left one down to the right bottom hand corner, you pull the other one down to the left hand corner, so the right stick down to the left corner, and then you press up on the joystick, and that is not working. So I'm going to try turning off the controller again, because the controller connects separately to the phone. Phone connects to the Wi-Fi. Yeah, the phone connects to the Wi-Fi, and the transmitter connects via 2.4 gigahertz. And so it should really be working now. Don't really know why. We could try turning off the drone, maybe. Maybe turn off the drone. We could potentially put a new battery in. We have got 2 batteries. So let's take that one out and put the other battery in. So we've got a full second battery. And let's just see. But yeah, so far just some stability issues by the looks of it. Let me just check, because we want it to join the Wi-Fi when this powers up. Yeah, just a few little bugs I think in the software. It's not connecting to it properly, and let's see what happens. So now we're connected to Holy Stone, so you connect to it by Wi-Fi. Right, so now, yeah, it's definitely picked it back up. Cannot enter the, yeah, so you just got to confirm the connection, you know, you're not bothered about it being not connected. So now it's still saying optical mode, so not sure why that is. Maybe there's not many satellites about, although I find that hard to believe. But yeah, the drone is not connecting at the moment. Let's give it a few seconds to see if it works. But yeah, overall, you know, there's just a few bugs in the software which I think could all be sorted out really. But yeah, it was going into a bit of a spin there. I couldn't seem to figure out how to stop it. Now some of it may be down to me not fully because this is my first flight with the drone. I haven't taken it up ahead of a time. I like to take drones out and kind of look at it from a complete beginner's perspective. I have read the manual, so I do believe I know how to kind of set it up and set it off, but for some reason, yeah, that circle mode, I just couldn't get out of it. But the follow me seemed to work. But it's how you get back to normal flight. There isn't really an obvious thing there. So, right, I'm going to come out of this, go into preparations. It may ask me to calibrate again, maybe. Okay, right, so it's saying calibration failed. Calibration timeout. Right, let's see if we can skip that. I mean, all this should be working. Right, let's try calibrate again. You know, and you do the whole walk, and yeah, it says failed straight away. And right now I'm going to go round. Right, calibration failed again. That's not, you know, I am actually doing the whole calibration for it and trying to turn it, so not sure why that's working. You know, so, you know, these are issues that hopefully are just software issues. So anyway, I'll try to skip that now, and then just see what happens. So it'll go back on about how this all works. But yeah, there does seem to be some issues in the software that I tried to calibrate that, and it worked before, but this time it didn't. So that's an issue. It's flashing as well with the satellites. So let's just see. I'm just finding it's not taking control. If I try to, you know, you can't unlock. And I found this was the controller previously when I was first setting up. So let me just turn this off, this controller again. So when it turns on, it'll be a flashing green light. You then do up and down, and it seems to, yeah, nothing seems to be nothing seems to be picking up. And I've changed the battery, I've checked the Wi-Fi connections. I mean, all this stuff is done at the moment. We're connected to Holy Stone, as you can see, and this time the camera's not even picking up. So let's kill the app. Let's go into Holy Stone again, and let's see if we can do anything. Right, so put the aircraft in a horizontal position, click the calibration button, the lights will flash. No, and so that's what I'm saying. It's not, you know, it's kind of red at the moment, which is odd. So let me turn it off. Turn it off again. Right, here we go. So it's flashing. All flashing, and then what can you, I mean, we're going to have to check that we're on the Wi-Fi again, which we won't be yet, because the Wi-Fi needs to boot up. Let's just see. Right, so now we're connected. We're definitely connected. Okay, so now let's try do calibration again. Calibration failed. So calibration when the flights go from flashing to always on. Yeah, I suppose they are still flashing at the moment, so let's wait. Let's wait for them to stop flashing. So yeah, so it's important to follow the actual instructions and make sure that we, sorry, fly flew into my ear, made me shake a bit. But yeah, we need to sort of make sure we follow the instructions properly. And I'm still seeing flashing on the lights. Hopefully you can pick that up in the camera. I think you should be able to. But yeah, so yeah, this is like sort of waiting for the lights to stop flashing. And I don't know why they're not stop flashing, but they're not. And these are the things, you know, there we go, look, see it still say yellow, but I don't understand why, because we're connected to the drone. Are we on? No, we're not. We're onto the drone. Let's just make sure that we're connected to Holy Stone. No, we're not, so maybe that was it. Let's go back in. Okay, so that's got red now. Calibrate, so keep. Right, calibration completed there. Right, now, okay, so now we're getting somewhere here. So actually it is doing what it's meant to be doing now, I think. Just spin around in a circle. And now like this. Yes, so I think it was me probably being overeager there. I think it was definitely me being overeager. Okay, calibration completed. That is happy with that. Okay, I can put my hat back on. Please take care of safety. Keep a distance from more than 3 meters, of course. We will. Okay, so we don't need to do that. Let's turn on the recording. Sorry, that was doing a video. Sorry, a picture there. Okay, so we should. Well, it won't let me take off, but I can now presumably unlock it. Down. So hang on. Yeah, I'm not seeing the same. Yeah, it's definitely not doing it. But I'm going to turn off my controller again because this is what I did last time. And yeah, rebind it by doing the whole binding thing again. And then you should be able to take off, no problem. And once again, you know, when it takes off and it's just sort of sat in the air, it's not particularly, you know, bad, is it? It's kind of sitting there quite nicely. It's not moving around too much. I mean, you know, okay, some of the features are not working 100% in my opinion, but maybe they are features that need. I mean, we can try and go back into them again, but I would rather, for the second, just take a look at the the old waterfall over there. So let's go up, see what we can see. So let's pick up the camera a bit. So, you know, let's give you a bit of a view of the area at least. So it's going up. You sort of get a view. Now, you know, as a drone that just flies about, and kind of, you know, you kind of adjust the camera down, press the button. You know, it does work. You know, we're getting a nice view over the waterfall, as I call it. Someone pointed out in the comments before that it was a weir. We just kind of call it a waterfall. I don't know why. It's just a local term, I think, because it's called Falls, Sprotbrough Falls, I think they call it. So yeah, I can kind of have a look around, and you know, the camera's kind of working. Video's all recording as we'd expect. Probably into the sun there, so probably not the best direction, but maybe I can take a, let's go up again, just a bit higher. So it tells you what you're at. You're at a height of 87 meters, only 5 meters away from us. Let's see if I can turn off the recording, pick up the camera a little bit. I want to take a picture, you know, try and get a picture, see what the pictures look like. Again, pick up the camera again a bit there, take a picture. Nice view of the motorway. Probably take a picture into the sun. It's not going to be a good idea, but you know, we're just going to do it. You know, take a picture over here. You know, I think reviewers tend to not do pictures. And maybe we should do more pictures, because sometimes people do want drone pictures. I'm a member of a drone group on Facebook, and often people share pictures more than videos. It always seems strange to me. Okay, so now I want to switch back into video. I mean, the UI is very easy to control. It's a little bit shaky in the air. you're going to get that because it is a non sort of stabilized drone. You know, you're not going to get the you're not going to get that kind of stabilized 3-axis gimbal footage that you get with your sort of more pricey drones. So, but as a bit of fun and playing around with it, it's pretty good. Right, so I'm going to get it to return to home now. And again, it's got a return to home feature. It didn't land very far from the pad last time. I'm probably going to cancel it before it actually lands. But what I want to do is I want to see what it's like kind of flying it around, not using the screen as your kind of guide, but using the drone itself. And I want to just sort of, you know, see what it's like, because I get a feeling as a sort of bombing it around drone, this will be a good fun drone. And I think that's what it'll be more than anything. So it's coming down now. I think it'll be a fun drone for that sort of purpose. Right, and it's not far. Again, it's not far from the pad. It won't have... Right, I've cancelled the go home. Cancelled the go home. It's fine. And basically, what I want to do is I want to push down on the right-hand joystick. That'll take it up to 100% mode. I just want to bomb it around and just see what it's like as an actual drone for just flying, really. And that for me is exactly what I think this drone is for. Yeah, and it is really, really good fun for flying around. And that is what I think is going to be what a lot of people want to do with this. They want to bomb around a sort of unpopulated area. And they want to, yeah, it's not going to be your sort of perfect video camera drone as such. Yeah, it's going to have those features if you kind of want them a bit. But yeah, you're looking at more of a sort of fun, you know, kind of play drone, really. You know, not that it's a toy as such, but it's a lot of fun sort of bombing around. I obviously wouldn't let your younger children fly this drone because it can move pretty fast in 100% mode. But it is very, very maneuverable, and it is flying about really well. So yeah, the camera footage is not going to be the best. That's just a fact of it not being in the price bracket of like something like the DJI Mini. But as a drone that you can fly around and kind of, you know, use it as a fun sort of, you know, bombing around drone, it's just pretty good. I mean, I quite like that. And that aspect of drones I don't really get so often because, you know, you're more about the camera, more about the video, really. So something like this is kind of a bit alien to me, but there's definitely a place for it. And just bombing around and enjoying the flying, really, and probably using line of sight more than what you would a drone like, you know, the camera drone. But it can get you out of trouble. Like there, I nearly went behind the tree and I couldn't really see it, and it basically, I could look back at the screen and go, well, what's in front of me? Get yourself up and out of the way. So pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think it's a good drone for not, you know, like kind of bombing it around, I think. And I mean, let's have another go at some of the features. Let's just pull out the yeah, let's try the waypoints mode again, because I just don't think you can. I can't get it to, here we go. Right, so now that's your waypoint, right? Waypoint 2, waypoint 3. Okay, right, I think that's pretty good. So now you upload to the drone, I think, find. Okay, so now I think it's going to do the waypoints, and I think this is working pretty well now. Yeah, it's turning, it's going to the points where I've asked it to go. You're probably not going to see that into the sun so much there, but it is basically doing its waypoints. It's doing the mission that it's been told to do, and yeah, that's pretty good. It is working. So I think we can confirm that maybe if you get all the calibrations right and you get everything kind of working, then you will be able to use the waypoints mode. So that's pretty good. So I mean, non-optical mode doesn't seem to So I don't know if that's saved. I think that's saved a different video maybe then. Now we know that tracking worked. I can't get the, yeah, non-optical mode, unable to run. So I think when it's in optical mode, it can do that, but we're in GPS mode. It was in optical mode earlier, but we didn't really want optical mode. But maybe we can you switch into optical mode? You probably can. Let's bring it down to us. I mean, might be able to bring it, yeah, so I'm going to go back out of that. So I'm kind of bringing it back to, I'll just get it in front of me. I kind of don't, you know, the problem is the sun today. I mean, it's actually 32 degrees out here, which I don't think you'd have ever thought anyone in the UK would ever use such high numbers to discuss temperature. I know that for American viewers that is something in Fahrenheit. I have no idea what it is. So if you Google it, it's going to be over 100. I think is what I think is the case. So can I go into a different mode? You know, can I change the mode? It doesn't look like you can change the mode, but what does that mode? No, I don't want that. I think that makes it land. I think there's a button on there that makes it land. So hang on, so if I hold that down, the compass mode, yeah. No, it's not really, none of that's doing anything. I mean, again, I think it can do these things. I think it can do it, and I think it probably does do it. But at the end of the day, it may be that you need to just dig through the instructions and find out exactly how to do something. Anyway, I'd like to try out the go round in a circle mode. So hang on, I don't know why it's beeping at me. Maybe it's low battery or something. Hang on, so yeah, I think you are unable to fly around, raise above 15 meters. So you got to go up 15 meters. Then it will do a circle. Upload. Make sure they flight higher surrounding buildings to avoid possible injuries. Okay, and then right now it's going to do the flying around in a circle thing again. Now let's hope this time we can get out of it. Let's just see what it's doing. I'm just trying to keep my eye on it. 100% trust that it will come out of this mode. And it is doing it. It's going round. It's all kind of doing what it should be doing. It's recording. Now, how do we get out of that mode? I think, yeah, cancel the surround flight. So this time, when I tap back on the actual the button that makes it work, it does actually work. So I don't know why it's beeping at me. I mean, maybe it's just warning me about battery, but I don't know. But I'm not gonna respond to it at the moment because it seems to be okay. I pressed the compass calibration button again and that seemed to stop it. So what I want to be careful of is when I'm bombing it around like I am. So I'm really enjoying actually flying it just around. Pigeon just sort of wanted to strafe us there a bit like a fighter pilot. But I tell you what, it is actually working. I'm going to bring the camera down. See the river there? Yeah, the only thing is, of course, as you sort of, you know, the difference between a 3-axis gimbal drone is that when you kind of push full forward, the gimbal will account for it. You'll still see exactly what's going on. But with this, because there's no stabilization, you know, it's a kind of 1-axis gimbal, is it? Or maybe 2. It does sort of look down. But I would say, you know, if you want to fly around like a maniac, you know, not an actual maniac, but if you want to sort of fly around a park and enjoy kind of flying sensibly, of course, away people, sensibly as a maniac, it's pretty good fun. And I think, yeah. And, you know, if you do have a higher priced drone, you could do this with it, but are you risking hitting a tree? You know, that's the thing. This drone, you know, is a bit cheaper, although I certainly wouldn't want to kind of throw away nearly £200, but it is a pretty good fun drone for flying around and enjoying. I quite like it, you know. I really like. If it had a 3-axis gimbal on it, I think it would be pretty cool actually. But you know, that's the price range. At the end of the day, these drones are in the, you know, in the lower price range for a reason, and that reason is because, you know, all these extra features like you know, 3-axis gimbals cost a lot of money. And I think, you know, in the end of the day, you know, you can't, you know, you're going to have to make compromises on what features you've got based on the cost you're able to afford. And, you know, if you go out and buy a Mavic Mini, or, you know, Mini SE as they are really now, yes, you know, yeah, you know, you can get them, but, you know, you're only going to get one battery and you're not going to get a case. You're not going to get, this comes with a nice case. It comes with 2 batteries. It comes with a spare set of propellers and a screwdriver. It comes with everything, whereas with the DJI one, you're going to have to buy a fly more combo for it to be really useful to you. Yes, you might be able to get out and have a small flight, but this has got 2 batteries, and you know, we've done a lot longer flying time than what would have been done with a, you know, with only 1 battery. So, you know, and it's going for quite a while. I mean, it's a claimed 23-minute flight time per battery, so 46 minutes. For the 2 of them, but I think that's probably optimistic. That will be done under lab conditions. All drone companies do that. They all say that it's 46 minutes, but the reality is that, you know, it's not going to be 46 minutes. But, you know, for the price you're paying, it's a nice little fun drone. I think it's pretty cool. The features seem to work. You know, we certainly got it to work. I think if you can get it into optical mode, you'll be able to do the kind of tracking feature, which, you know, is basically like selecting someone. I think most people are going to be running it in GPS mode. It's that's sort of the mode that I'm most used to. That's the kind of mode I would use a lot. So I think that keeps it more stable. It does have an optical flow sensor, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think the GPS mode is probably going to be a lot more efficient. Trouble is, I'm flying into the sun here. Difficult to do. You know, and this drone moves fast at 100% speed. It's a fast little drone. I think it would give any other drone a run for its money, really, in speed. So, yeah, it's quite cool, you know. And there's a sort of manualness to it a little bit because the camera doesn't actually sort of look up while it's doing it. And but anyway, yeah, I think it's quite a fun little drone. So let's just get it to return home again. Now, what it should do, you can do that by pressing the button on the controller as well. What it should do is take itself up to 65 meters or somewhere. It should take itself up. And it's come back, very similar position again, you know. It's come up pretty good. I wonder if I can cancel it and land it manually. It doesn't seem to have a problem landing in the grass. It's very close to the landing pad. I mean, ridiculously close. I mean, that's... Right, it is cutting the grass and it will stop. But I mean, that is close. I mean, that's return to home. That is return to home on, you know, what is a very budget drone, and that is return to home. So, I mean, it nearly landed on the pad. Now, don't forget, this hasn't got any of the advanced features like, you know, landing pad detection. It hasn't, you know, that's why you're not paying, you know, huge amounts of money for it. It does have brushless motors. You know, it does have, you know, a 4K camera, so the pictures are in 4K. The video, it says HD, but I'm sure I read in the manual that it might be 2.7K, so we're gonna have to find out. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little drone. There's your optical flow sensor. I put in a fast SD card. Now, it did sort of moan about lower speed SD cards. I didn't think it would matter that much because maybe the bit rate wouldn't be high enough. But actually, you know, maybe if you've got a fast SD card, you get a higher bit rate. So, you know, let's see what the video comes out like. Will it be 2.7K? I guess I'll overlay this this video with a message to say whether it was or not, because I won't find out obviously till I get home. Still got 2 lights on the battery there, but we use 2 batteries. You don't really want to run your batteries down too low because, you know, it will do damage eventually, having it down too low. But yeah, I mean, not a bad looking drone. and you know, nice and compact. It's under the 250 grams, so in the US you won't have to register it with the FAA. In the UK you will still need to register for an operator ID and the EU, but you will, and you'll have to label it, but you know, you can put that, I tend to put it somewhere like inside the battery compartment, but you know, they kind of say, oh, it should be somewhere accessible, and I think it's fine to put it in the battery compartment, as long as, you know, you don't need a tool to get in there and see where the registration is. So yeah, I always think that's fine. But anyway, yeah, so you do need to register these. It's because it has a camera, so you can record pictures and videos and stuff. But yeah, you know, controller, not too bad. You know, plasticky but quite solid. You do kind of have to bind it. There's a separate connection, if you like, from the controller to the drone, and the, you know, the other to your phone is basically Wi-Fi to the drone. So there's two separate connections going on. And yeah, you need to sort of watch those calibration messages and make sure you do the calibration correctly, and make sure that it's like, if it's not, you know, if the lights aren't solid, that you don't kind of do it, you know, and try and take off as I did. But yeah, I mean, genuinely a fun little drone, and you know, at the end of the day, it depends what you're looking for. If you really want stabilized video footage, then you're gonna have to spend a bit more money. But if you just want a fun drone, for a beginner drone, to get out in the park and have a bit of fun, sort of bombing around safely, then this drone is pretty cool. So, but yeah, pretty happy with that. Hope that was useful to you. I hope I haven't missed anything out. I did try and get through the features there, and hopefully being able to see how it all works and see how the calibration works. You know, hopefully with my hat cam you're able to see how I basically unlock the motors. Now what I did, I don't know if I can sort of show you again with the camera like this, might be easier. Hang on, I need to tap on the screen so I can see what is going on. Right, okay, so what I did was I pulled them down to like that, and then that turns on the motors, and then obviously you can lift off like that. But what we don't want to be doing is actually that. So sticks are a bit heavy there. Yeah, it's a fast little drone at 100% anyway. Right, anyway, I'm just going to bring it down. It's fine. It's, you know, you're going to cut some grass a little bit, but yeah, that basically worked out pretty well. Pretty happy with that. And but anyway, that's how you unlock the motors. You pull down to the kind of inner corners, so left down to the right down to the left, and that sorts that out, and that starts it up. But yeah, it's all looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was useful to you. If it was, if you can give us a like, if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. If you could get others to subscribe to that channel, it would be great as well. But thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate you watching our videos. Hopefully you found that useful, and I'll see you again in the next one.